And I was so honored to hear that you read my book and loved it. And I'd love to hear more of like, what was the key takeaway for you from this?
You all probably think we've set you up here on this. And I promise this is not the case. We do a quarterly session right after earnings. We'll do this next Wednesday, where we basically do a GE-wide broadcast. We call it Leadership Exchange. It goes for about 3 hours. I host it, bring in outsiders. We highlight some of our better performers. Good conversation. We're at a break, and I'm walking off the stage. At break, we go to our podcast. And this group will get the double entendre here. Yes. It's called And On That Note. Get it?
It's I think the best podcast title in the lean world I've heard. Sorry, Mark.
So I'm walking off stage. They turn it up, and I hear 2 sentences on Hoshin Kanri, a subject near and dear to my heart. And I wheeled around, and I said, "Who's that?" Because it might have been the most coherent 2 sentences on Hoshin I've ever heard, and I've tried to be coherent on the topic and failed for 20 years. Anyway, long story short, Katie Anderson, she wrote this book, so it goes into the beach bag. So I bought your book thinking I was going to learn more about how to communicate more clearly as to what Hoshin is and how to use it. You don't have a lot of pages on Hoshin in your book. But what I was so thrilled about were really 2 things. One, Yoshino-san's personal journey. And for folks, particularly for folks at GE, to see that transformation, it's a personal journey, well told in a way that I thought was accessible. But the other thing that was key for me, and the reason I recommended it to the GE crowd, is we're still, I think, getting more people to understand it's not just about manufacturing. Yes, that's where it starts. Yes, that's the best place to learn it because you can touch it, you can feel it, you can hear it, you can smell it. But it is applicable everywhere. And I thought your book really talked about lean, not through that manufacturing lens, but again, more broadly. So it was really for those 2 reasons, complete surprises, that had me suggesting your book. And not knowing, I promise, not knowing we'd be together here today at me.
It all came together. And that was my great honor and privilege to get to know Sal Yoshino, who was a 40-year Toyota leader who was part of helping take Toyota from a more manufacturing process side, the Toyota production system, to really creating what we now know as the Toyota Way, which is the Toyota management system. And so that journey as well. So thank you, and I appreciate that.